Spooky Season's continuing again this week with a short variety of figures because of some personal issues and some workplace accident hell. But it did not stop me from giving you guys some pretty cool stuff and some pretty problematic stuff. Hey everyone, it's Tony here with Nerds Never Sleep, and it's time again for another weekly figure roundup. That's right, this is the time of the week where I bring you in, show you all the statues, figures, and collectibles that I highlighted on the channel in the past week using things like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikToks, and photo galleries across the various social media platforms. Now, this week had a lot of stumbles to it and a lot of issues, but I did continue on with our spooky season. Now, as you can see here, I am short a few figures because if you guys have been following on social media, I did have an accident at work where my face was bashed in, swollen up twice the size, and knocked a tooth out of my face. So I am actually a little bit better and able to talk normally, so we're going to continue on. But because of all that, I did have some slowdown over the past week. I did have some really cool pieces to show off, and we're going to get right into things. We didn't have a My Hero Monday video like we were supposed to, but we did have a problematic Twin Tuesday to show off. Of course, going to ReZero with Rom, who was the companion piece to last week's Monster Motions Rem. We have the Monster Motions Rom. Now, this is the vampire / succubus version. I've seen it called both. I gear more towards succubus because she has the little wings on her head, and she is absolutely awesome. Other than the weird piece of hair that's kind of sculpted onto the hair, I am not a big fan of that. But everything else about this, just like the Rem previously, is really, really cool. The fact that she's walking down a staircase and it's not an obnoxiously plain black base, hint, hint. The face with the little sharp teeth on it, just kind of her, not even seductive, but her confident and almost cocky pose actually works really well for her. The body itself is sculpted amazingly. The costume looks really good, and it does fit the succubi / vampire kind of look. And, you know, this is one that, of course, just like the Rem, got a couple flags over on the TikTok side of things and got gimped here on the YouTube side of things. So, Rem and Rom always do good on the channel, guys, unless they're wearing a certain kind of skimpy clothing. So, you know, nothing is revealed here, and, you guys know, Rom doesn't really have much as far as the booba area is concerned, so there ain't much falling out here with this costume. But that's how things roll, apparently, over here on YouTube. And you know what? One day I will beat it one day, guys. I will beat it. But back to the piece, guys. If you really like something a little different for your ReZero collection, I do really, really love the Monster Motions line. And I know it does suck that there's only 2 of them, but I highly recommend either one of these ladies for your collection. And then going from one problematic figure to another, of course, Waifu Wednesday, I had to bring out the mommy, herself, Makima, from Chainsaw Man. And of course, this is actually the Furyu By Cute Bunnies Makima. Now, I absolutely adore the By Cute Bunnies line. As someone who does collect the free and quarter scale bunnies and has stopped, these things are such a great value and bang for your buck because you're paying $30 for one of these as opposed to $300 plus for a quarter scale bunny. There's a lot of variety to these, and they all look so freaking good. Now, the one difference about the Chainsaw Man bunnies is that they actually have more of their skin covered, I guess we could say, because they've got the long boots, the pants, and actually a sleeveless top with a bow tie, whereas the other By Cute bunnies have more of the typical Playboy bunny style. Now, for some reason or another, Makima here even got flagged as adult content on TikTok. And gimped at first in the algorithm over here on YouTube, but has slowly but surely made her way up. I wanted to do these because I know we have the movie coming out next week, and I'm so excited. And this is actually one of my favorite Makimas that I have as far as prize figures go. If you're looking for a really cool Makima in something a little bit more dynamic than her standard, coat and suit jacket, whatever, this is definitely something to look into. And again, that's something I always like. I like to have the different variety in costumes and stuff like that. And the Buy Cute Bunnies does not disappoint. Everything down to the sculpt, the paintwork on this, the eyes, they nailed the eyes perfectly. And she still has that confident, cocky kind of aura about the piece. And I absolutely love it. I cannot recommend it highly enough. And if you guys want me to do power for next week's Waifu Wednesday, I could probably have my arm twisted to do power next week. So we'll see. But highly recommend checking her out if you guys have not already. And I think they're doing a reprint of her, as well as if you have a round one nearby, they have a red variant that's exclusive to them, which I will be getting this week myself. So definitely check her out. You will not be disappointed. And then while it's not exactly spooky, I guess, so to speak, he is a Harlequin, so he does kind of count. So for that time I got reincarnated Thursday, obviously going back to Tensora with the boy, the only boy from the Harlequin Alliance, Lapis. Now, I love the trio of Harlequins in That Time I Got Reincarnated Slime. I love it. I love Tyr and Footman and Lapis. I think they're so cool. They're great for being Clayman and Carrion's little underlings. I love them. And you know what? They're all really cool individually. But you know what? I would love to have the set. Why is Ben Presto not giving us the other two is my biggest question. But back to the figure. He is part of the Otherworlder series from Ben Presto, and as you can tell, the Otherworlder series, scale-wise, is not very big compared to everything else I've got here on the table today. But I think they did a phenomenal job with the actual sculpt for this one. His costume, the way his little sash kind of ties around the back of him looks really good. It flows really nicely. And he's kind of in a almost mocking pose with the kind of the hand up in the air like that. It's really, really cool. I love how they actually sculpted the hair kind of coming out from underneath his little cap. He's got his mask covering his face, and it's covered very, very well. Everything is just on point with this. And it's a shame we don't get more of these characters, because I really do love them. And I would love a Tyr and Footman, please, because we do need to complete the trio. And if we do get the completed trio, you bet your butt I'm going to be highlighting them because I adore them. But I got to recommend this one highly because as of right now, he's the only figure that we have of this character. So it's a no-brainer, and he's very, very cheap. And I think there are two versions of this one as well. Usually they have the first version, and then they have a alternate color tone version. And that's usually what they do with the Otherworlder series. So highly recommend him if you're looking for some more villains in your Reincarnate as a Slime collection. And yeah, hopefully we're going to end up getting his two companions. But until then, he fits nice on the shelf with Clayman. And then I finished off this short week with a big one. One that's pretty hard to find complete. Because this one back in the day had a lot of problems with breakage, and I was one who suffered that same problem. So this is a C.S. Moore statue of the Darkness. Now, obviously, if you don't know who the Darkness is, he's in the Top Cow / Image Witchblade kind of verse, as I always used to call it. So he's a Witchblade adjacent character who ended up getting his own series and did very, very well. The main character, obviously, Jackie. He's kind of into some dirty dealings, mob stuff. It's very dark, gritty book. And, he gets possession of the Darkness, which is actually one of the artifacts in the Top Cow universe that enables him to, obviously, get, I guess you could say, powers. and the ability to summon these little guys called the Darklings. Now, C.S. Moore always put out amazing, amazing pieces. And I do have a lot of his Witchblade and Fathom statues. Absolutely love them. This is the only one I ever had a problem with. And thankfully, it was covered by the insurance on the purchase. So I ended up getting my money back for this. And they told me to keep it because it was expensive to ship. So this guy actually has 4 Darklings that surround him. One of mine ended up broken. I have not attempted to fix it all these years, and I probably never will. He's just sitting broken in the box. But I've known a lot of people who've had this that have had those same issues. And if you're one that has this whole thing complete, dang, you're lucky because this thing is beautiful. The base is really, really cool, kind of with all the overgrowth underneath it, with like a pillar jutting out here. He's just kind of perched up on it, like a cross between an evil version of Batman and Spawn. You know, he's in a crouching position, and he's got, yes, he does have very similar features to Witchblade as far as his armored pieces and his claws and things like that. They do have a lot of similarities. I love the way the mask goes up over his face. He's kind of have the hair flowing down. And man, the best part about this is the little Darklings. These guys look so freaking cool. One's got the little beanie on his head. He's pointing out, ready to go attack. Other one over here has got his little gun out, ready to go. The winged one's over here. He's got his gun coming out the holster. It just looks awesome. And the Darklings were just fun and goofy, while a little sadistic as well. But if you're looking for a really, really cool Darkness statue, I think you can still get him at a pretty affordable price, under $200. And nowadays, for something that's a full polystone statue of this size, going for under $200 is a steal. So if you can get your hands on one, preferably one that's been opened and checked already, I highly recommend them. And that's going to be your look at the short list of figures that I highlighted this week. Now, at this point, what I do is I give my favorites for the top tier and the lower tier figures. So obviously, we only had one expensive piece, of course, being the Darkness. So he takes the win by default. And you know what? It probably would have beat out any other one that I put up against it. So the lower end stuff, obviously the prize figure stuff, is going to obviously, if you know me, is going to go to my girl Makima and her big Step On Me mommy heels that she's got on in the Buy Cute Bunny line. I absolutely love her. And of course, you can't really go wrong with any of these because they all look pretty awesome. So those are my picks. Let me know your favorites in the comments down below. And now we're going to close out the things with the page updates. So this past week, obviously, I did make a couple videos. I did do a lot of live streams. We switched over to doing spooky season stuff, which y'all voted for Resident Evil 4. And I was kind of dreading it, but surprisingly, man, was I having fun playing that game. So definitely a pleasant surprise. I have not played it since it first came out. So picking it back up again with all the kind of refinements they made to it was really, really cool. And I've been having fun with it. I did do a dedication stream to, of course, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Itagaki, who did the remakes of the more modern era Ninja Gaiden games, and of course was the creator of Dead or Alive. Passed away really young in his 50s. And I decided to do a Dead or Alive volleyball stream, kind of tribute to him, because obviously these are the characters he created. And we had some problems here where my streams got flagged twice and ended after 45 minutes. So it didn't last as long as I wanted to, but we still had some fun, and they are still posted. So if you want to check them out, you can. The game is really awesome, and I highly recommend importing it if you could. And other than that, we did an awesome unboxing to kind of come as a companion piece to the Deku of the Continuous Star Master Line series that I did previously. I went and I did the Continuous Star Bakugo this week, which had the massive cannons and armament kind of all over his shoulders. And man, did he look freaking cool. I just had one gripe with it. And if you want to know, check out the video. Make sure to give it a like and comment if you guys want me to do any more My Hero stuff, because obviously we're at the end game, guys. We're in the final season, and I'm not ready for it to be over. but I know what's coming. I know what to expect, and I'm ready to see it all animated. So that's pretty much it for the page updates and for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you did like the video and checking out all these awesome figures today, do me a solid. Click the like button, the subscribe button, the share button. Spread the nerdiness. Follow on all other socials. The links are down in the description below. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.